Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. Her name is Marla Goldberg. Dr. Marla, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Dr. Marla. Firstly, you are an author. You are also a doctor of metaphysical healing, and you're also a podcast host. Can you please, Dr. Marla, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Dr. Marla?
So, yes, I had a podcast called Guided Spirit Conversations for almost 6 years. And I put a pause on it. I put a pin in it for a minute, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to resurrect it or not. I have a best-selling book, as an author, and it's called My Fucking Long Journey to Loving Yourself: A Guide to a Shorter Path. I'm a doctor of metaphysical healing, non-denominational minister, psychic medium. I'm also an artist, and so that's my professional CV.
All right, thank you so much for the insights, Dr. Marla. And I would like to also dive to your book, which is the best-selling author, if I'm correct. Can you please, Dr. Marla, discuss more on that book? And do you have more book you're also planning to write in the coming future, Dr. Marla?
I am in the process of writing a book. It's going to take, it's going to be comprehensive, so it's going to be much bigger than my current book. So my current book it's an autobiographical story of my life, but more because of the mistakes I've made in my life and the wounds I had, and how at a certain point I did a 180 through my spiritual path, through energy healing. So as I was learning how to heal others, my teacher was like, you have to clean your own closets out before you can help anybody else clean theirs. So I had to do a lot of self introspection work, lots of work to heal, and how to love myself. So this book shares this life journey. And then in the back of the book, I share 14 of the most, I thought, powerful techniques, tips, tools, and techniques that helped me in my journey. So hopefully it will help others in their journey.
That is very, very lovely and inspiring, Dr. Mala. Having an experience and giving it to others shows that one doesn't want that experience to come over, someone again. So one want to try his or her best to make a better place in terms of those situations so that the person will know how to counter it. So that is a very, very inspiring writing from experience. Thank you so much for that book and the book you're planning to write now, Dr. Mala. I would like to dive to the point of choice. Dr. Mala,
Yes.
you and I will agree that any choice anyone make could impact someone in a very, very long way. Choice is very powerful. When the mind say, I want to do this, it could impact hundreds of things. So choice is a very powerful thing. So I would like to dive to that point of choice. What do you think the power of choice really mean in your own perspective, Dr. Mala? And how do you think it relates to personal growth and success, Dr. Mala?
So to answer your first question, personal choice. Um, how does it affect people? Well, a lot of times when you've been brought up with, which most of us have, with dysfunction, repression, you have a very dominating family, or you go the other way where they don't care at all. And so you don't get directions and guidance from your family, either because they don't know it, or they don't want to be bothered with it, or they don't have time for it. And so you're on your own using your own devices. Well, and you always talk about me as because that's an issue of mine. It was, and now I'm healed from it. But I would make the same types of choices over and over again, and it would always affect me badly. And the reason being is because of my wounds, my internal, my emotional, not physical, but my emotional wounds. Um, and I kept, justifying these bad choices to myself and other people. But here's the reality: the result of the choice you make, what the outcome is, that is based on what's going on internally. So if you keep making the same choices and they're not doing you well. They're not good for you. It's important to go, okay, wait a second. Why? Why do, am I making the same choices? And okay, why am I making choices that aren't going to support me or help me? Um, and a lot of times people feel they don't have any other choice, but they do have a choice. Everyone has a choice to be better, to be kinder, to be grateful. They have, the choice to change their life. There's circumstances. So, in metaphysics, you're taught that before you reincarnated, you are given scenarios of life with parents and siblings and life experiences that your soul needs to have. And we come down, but so then we get born and we're given amnesia and we don't understand what we're doing. But all of these things take into account the choices. So bad choices are not made to keep you stuck or to give you bad self-esteem. When you make a choice that doesn't serve you, this is your opportunity to change things for yourself. Because if you can get introspective and say, okay, this choice didn't work, this choice wasn't successful, then you can go, okay, you can change the choice. So, for example, you take a job because you need a job. So you take the first thing that comes, and it's not going to be the job you want, but you take it because of you think your need. So it's out of desperation. And it doesn't work out. And then you take another job the same way. So you don't interview the interviewee or learn about the company and how they treat people until you're in it. So you don't save yourself the time. But if you pull back while you're in this horrible job, the one that doesn't serve you, you don't like, if you go look for another position or go look for education and learn another ability, another skill, that's a way of changing a choice. And then when you start looking for another position, maybe it's not so much out of desperation, it's more out of inspiration and aspiration to do something different, do something better with your new skills.
Thank you so much for that insight, Dr. Marla. That shows that every single choice starts with the emotion. I think the emotion is where the situation starts from. When the emotion comes in, then the person will start to get to the point of a level where the person wants to make a choice. And that choice is either good or bad, as you said. And we just have to definitely have to give the right questions when we feel our choices are not favoring us. That means asking the question, what do I think that is, wrong about me? What do I think I need to shift or change? Then if that changes can come on, then definitely the improvement can definitely work. And that would definitely help someone to make a better choices and a more positive choices. Now, I would like to dive to the point of development. When these choices have
Yes.
been it gets into a point, now I've gotten to a point, I can make better choices. I can ask myself, adjust, then go for a better choice to help myself. The emotion is not what is just dragging me to the wrong choices anymore. How do you think someone can develop that confidence to also trust that decision they are making, Dr. Marla?
Well, here's what you need to understand, in my opinion. People make choices the same way. They do it through habit. They do it um, because of how they're conditioned or how they believe about themselves. So there's different ways, and yes, they all come down to emotion. I mean, no matter how you do it, no matter how strategic you are, there's always an element of emotion in it. But do you want positive emotion, or do you want the alternative in what you're doing? And it's so how you think about it. So, for example, you need a new car. And so, do you get a pre owned car? Do you get a brand new car? Well, of course, part of that is what you can afford, but then you have cash to buy. Let's say you have $20,000. I'm just using this as an example. to give to pay for a car. But somebody talks you into doing a financing, no, keep your money, pay us, and then they charge you interest. Why? It's not for your better good, right? It's for their better good. So how do you sort of like make the choice? No, thank you. I'm going to do this because this is what I plan to do. And then, yes, you put your money into it, but then you're not paying interest rates that could really be detrimental in the long run. About
Dr.
the
Marla,
emotion.
I completely agree. It definitely makes sense. So that's, getting to get the right job will definitely help to build that confidence to trust that decision. When I know, okay, this is where I want to go, okay, I can build that area to trust that decision that that person wants to definitely make. And I also like to dive to the point of people who are in the point of self-sabotaging, or have self-sabotaging behavior. And do you think self-sabotaging behavior also affects or keeps someone from making better choices? And do you also feel like childhood trauma, childhood issues also limit someone from making decisions? And if you feel like, how do you think someone can fix that, Dr. Mala?
Okay, I'm going to say yes to both of those. Yes, stuff, childhood trauma, and low self-esteem, and low self-confidence are elements that will self-sabotage your, your ability to make confident, healthy choices. They all will. And again, in my book, it shows all the bad, low self-esteem, the low, I had low self-confidence, though you would never guess it by talking to me, but I did. But here's the thing, all your choices, all your decisions are a reflection of what's going on within you. I'm going to say it again. All your choices, all your decisions are a reflection of what is going on internally with your traumas, your wounds. Many of us have been emotionally abused. We've been called names. We've been criticized. And you have a choice. Here's the choice situation. You have a choice to believe what this person is saying, or you have a choice to say, no, 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 that's not who I am. This is about you. This isn't about me. And then when you start, healing and believing that what their criticisms, their judgments, they put people in boxes because they feel in a box, right? This does affect your decision making abilities, and you don't make healthy decisions for yourself. You don't make those healthy choices. When you start doing internal work and start healing those wounds, building your confidence, building your self esteem, learning how to love yourself. You will then, and having boundaries, because boundaries is huge in learning to love yourself. I believe you will start making better, stronger choices for yourself, or you will get out of them sooner before they can affect you more deeply or have that domino effect and affect the other people in your life that it will affect.
Definitely, Dr. Mala. It definitely makes sense. That shows that everything starts from the mind. The mind
Yeah.
and every single wound that are there will definitely affect the choices we make. So that shows that I know that what you said now, which is someone should try is our best to, take time to heal that wound. When the wound heals, then definitely choices will definitely improve. That could take a lot of time, that could take a lot of effort. Even from your experience, you should definitely know that, it should take a lot of time. But if someone can be patient enough to build that healing, then definitely the choices will start to build. And one can be saying, I was like this before, but I am not like that now. I make choices like this before, but everything has changed. That shows. And I would like to also dive to this point, Dr. Marla, because to do this, do you personally feel like forgiveness play a role in making this work and also reclaiming power of choice, Dr. Marla?
Okay, so to answer your question, yes, I do. Forgiveness is huge. But here's the important part. You need to be able to forgive other people, which is the gift you give yourself. You know, because a lot of people say, why do I want to forgive this idiot? Because they hurt me, they insulted me, they stole from me. This is a gift you give yourself because you unburden yourself. And it's just like, this is about them. I'm not going to own this. And this will take it out. And then it's also about forgiving yourself, which is more important than forgiving others. Because the majority of us as humans tend to beat ourselves up emotionally. You know, the self talk the majority of human beings has is so debilitating. And again, it because you take other people's criticisms and judgments and insults and you take them in and you start owning them. And then they start taking up rent. They take space up in your mind and you ruminate like a hamster on a wheel, right? It goes round and around and around. And so it's learning how to forgive yourself for any bad choice you made, for hurting someone else's feeling. I didn't know any better. I forgive myself. I'm going to do better sooner. I'm going to do better today. I'm going to make those efforts to be better right now and to not be cruel to myself, to not believe other people's things, because that's not what I believe about me. You know, we're as babies, we don't come in with, I mean, we come in with karma, that we do come in, but we don't come in as bad people. We don't come in as cruel people. Those are learned behaviors, in my opinion. If somebody wants to show me that there's a DNA factor, I would be definitely open to listening to that or reading it. But in my opinion, it is, well, I have to, you know, because I'm just saying that's not true. But in my opinion, in my perspective, these are taught behaviors. So once we can forgive ourselves and let go of these things in our heads, it starts to help our heart. So I do a thing called clear delete. And so if I have a negative thought or if I have a negative feeling, or even if I do something that isn't in integrity, I clear delete 3 times. I say clear delete, clear delete, clear delete. Because what it does, when you have these negative thoughts, even to yourself, you're sending it out into the ethers and it boomerangs back at you, right? And you don't want that. So you want to stop it whenever you realize you've done it. So you go clear delete, clear delete, clear delete. Powerful, in my opinion. The second thing to help people in their healing process, especially if they feel like there is not enough. I don't have enough food. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough clothing. I don't have enough cars or jewelry, whatever might be enough to that individual. Um, be grateful. And you can start with 3 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful I have a toothbrush. I'm grateful I have toothpaste. I'm grateful I have soap. And then you can build it up with other gratitudes. I'm grateful I have friends. I'm grateful I have this podcast and I'm helping people. And the more you put out your gratitude, that too works like a boomerang. And it comes back and it helps you heal and it brings joy in your life. And it opens you up to know that if you're grateful for this, spirit will work and bring you more of what you're grateful for. If you talk about all this negative stuff in your head, guess what you get? More negative crap. I'm sorry to be so direct like that, but it's true. What you put out, you get back. Energetic, that's the law of energy. If it, if, so I hope that's a helpful answer for your listening audience.
Yes, it's also a very helpful answer for me myself as a very young person. Thank you so much for that insight. That shows that this body is just flows like an energy. It goes and it's come. And I definitely really like the area you said forgiving oneself is very more important. Because if someone doesn't forgive his or herself, then that negative thought is still going to be coming around and it's going to be giving control over every single choices that person makes. So if someone can just let go of his or herself anything that has been done, then someone can learn how to now use that emotion to bring in positive energy into the mind,
Yeah.
then continue giving that mind positive energy, then definitely when it continues to receive positive, then the body starts to heal, everything starts to calm, and it will just happen like magic. Choices starts to change, and that is where everything starts to improve in one life. And definitely, we definitely to also agree that we have to also continue to build ourselves in terms of what we think about ourselves. That also play a very definitely big role. So definitely, we definitely hope that this development will definitely help that person in bringing more choices that will help his or her life in the coming future. Thank you so much for those insights, Dr. Marla. Dr. Marla, there's a question I normally ask during the end of the show, Dr. Marla. From
Yes.
the forefathers, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our forefathers' time, and a lot of it are missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Dr. Marla, what do you think that thing will be, Dr. Marla?
I don't know if it's from the forefathers, but what I would like to bring, in this is be kind, kindness to others. We are not kind enough to other people. We're not kind enough to animals, domesticated animals. We're not even kind enough to the animals we kill for food. Because don't forget, if an animal is killed for food, which we eat meat, we eat chicken, we eat fish, um, how it happens makes a difference because if they feel fear in their tissues, in their DNA, there's fear, and guess what we end up eating? End up eating fear. So I believe that there's not enough kindness in this world, um, and in a way generosity. And I'm not talking about just financial generosity, generosity of the heart, generosity to be assistant to somebody who might not be able to do something for themselves, or like their hands are full. Opening up a door is a generous act, costs nothing, but it's generosity. And guess what? All these things come back in different kinds of ways. So I would like to see people being kinder to other people, being more humane to other people and to other living things. Um, and really, I feel that that would make a great strides in shifting the human consciousness.
Completely agree, Dr. Marla. That definitely goes back to the point that every single one of us should treat every single person we see in the way we want to be treated. Definitely.
Yeah.
If this world can be like that, in fact, everything will be normalized because one unkindness or someone not kind affects a lot of people in one or two ways that that person might not even know. So when kindness come in, even someone that feels like he or she is not even seeing things, when he sees that kindness, in fact, it's just going to improve and make the person know that so someone like this even exists. Kindness bring humane, it's bring this kind of humility to someone that definitely helps. It brings peace, and it's definitely something that we need in our time. We definitely need it to continue to come back so that there will be more people that will definitely be more happier and more, just more living a life of engagement in the life of comfort. I want to also sincerely thank you, Dr. Mala, for the time, for the opportunity you've given to me and the audience. It's meant a lot to me. Thank you so much, Dr. Mala.
Thank you. And have a wonderful life experience. Have a wonderful journey in this life. Make it the most you can make it.
Exactly. Have a wonderful day, Dr. Mala. Bye bye.
Bye.